You guys want to be in the episode? Come on, come here. Welcome back to the channel, guys, with Paradox the Rapper. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned. On this episode, I'm gonna teach you about what you need. On this episode, I'm gonna show you I'm going to answer all of your questions that you've been asking in the comments. How much does the wraps cost? How long does it last? Is it as good as paint? How much material do you need to wrap your car? So stay tuned for this one and I will answer all of your questions. We'll go down the list one by one. I'll put a little timestamp right over here somewhere. The timestamp's going to show you where all of the questions that you are asking starts at. So if you don't want to watch the whole thing, you can just go to your timestamp and look at your answer for your question there. So let's do it. Look at all that back there. So it took me a really long time to get all these cars set up the right way and get all the wraps out so we can do this episode. So I hope you guys will leave me a comment, give me a like, and hit that subscribe button because I tried really hard to do this. So before we get started, let's do a little bit of background. So the whole Paradox thing is because back in the early 2000s, we had a street racing team called Team Paradox. And that's where I got it from. That's my gamer name. And that's why I'm building the brand around it. If you're an OG subscriber, you would know that my first car is that MR2 Spider. I got it gray and I hated the gray color. I wanted to change in color and I didn't want to pay anyone to do a wrap or paint. I figured I'd try it myself by watching YouTube. For this video, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Do your research. The whole point of me doing this channel is to show you in as much detail as possible, unfiltered, what the realities of wrap is and just me playing with my cars. So I am not a professional of any kind. I am just a YouTube rapper. I'm not certified by any school or anything like that. Professional rappers, they would go to like 3M rapping school or Avery rapping school and stuff like that. And where you would pay like, I don't know, $500-600 or something around like $1,000 range. And then they will teach you how to rap in a course and they'll give you a little certificate and stuff like that. But the reality of it is rapping is an art. So there's no like board of nursing for rapping. So that's where it's important to do your research and find out who would be your best rapper for your money in your area. So let's get started with question number one, the most asked question of all. How much does wrap cost? So the answer to that is it depends on what kind of car you have, what color you want, the condition of your paint, and all kinds of other scenarios. So let's go over some of the scenarios. Oh, look, and there's Chip and a cat on top of my car. All right, so how much does it cost? Depends on what color and what kind of car you have. If you have this car, it would cost different than this car, than this car, than this car, depending on your wrapper. So the main thing is how experienced is your wrapper and how busy that person is. Okay, so if someone is first starting out, they might not be as busy and they might charge you a lot less. The short version of how much wrap costs is there's a range, right? So we'll call it, it can vary from like $1,200 all the way to $8,000. Okay, so it just really depends. I know that's a big range. A new wrapper will do a gloss color for maybe $1,200. Okay, we'll go over how much the wrap costs in a minute, but a more experienced wrapper will probably do this for $2,000. A shop with a whole bunch of people that's really busy might do a gloss wrap for $2,500 starting out. So that's where you're looking at, okay? Color shifting, pearls, metallics can be more, and chrome is definitely a lot more. So This is a color shifting wrap, and you're looking at probably around 22 to 3,500 depending on the wrap shop and what brand you pick. Okay, so we'll go over that in a minute too. Chromes, you're looking at 3,000 all the way to 8,000. It really just depends on what brand of chrome you pick. A Chinese brand chrome or tech wrap is only 400 something dollars. Avery 3M brand chrome is around 3,000, 2,800 to do a whole car, just in material costs. That's why it's so expensive. This is a special chrome. It's called neochrome, and only the tech wrap brand sells this one, and this one is up there in the price as well because it is not meant to be on a car as a whole thing. It's only meant for accents. So you'll get things like this where you have to really seam it right here, and it's not the cleanest wrap. This material is very hard and very stiff to work with. You can see me do this car right over here somewhere. Okay, let's walk over here and look at the wrap. So first off, brand. Any brand in satin matte or gloss finish right around here will be running you the lowest price. Okay, from here to there are all satin, matte, or gloss finish, and it ranges. Tech wrap, you're looking at $400 to $500. Similarly with all the other brands, highest you'll get is like 600 bucks for a full roll. So you got to factor that into the equation. Here you got a metallic color shifting, more holographic stuff, color shifting. Okay, so the color shifting, pearls, iridescence, whatever it is that has a trick to the color, when you look at it at different angles, that's going to cost you more by a couple $100. So let's say you're paying $400 here, you're probably going to end up paying like $600, $700, maybe $800 depending on the brand that you pick. I'll link a description of all the websites I get my wrap from, and then you can go on there and take a look at how much stuff costs below. Okay, and then right here we got the chromes, the matte chromes. This is a holographic chrome, mirror chromes. Okay, so all the chromes would be more expensive, not so much the matte chromes in tech wrap. The chromes in Avery and 3M, they would charge you as much as reflective chrome, almost. So check it out, check the prices. Reflective chrome is a whole nother monster. So this is reflective chrome, and why does it cost so much money? Is because chrome doesn't like to bend, and you can see your reflection in it. So on regular wrap, if you fold this or pull it too much, you can just heat it up and it will go back to the way it was on like a gloss finish, like on my MR2. But on this one, if you do any of that, you haze out the whole piece and you lose it all. So if you're doing a big ass piece like on the hood and you mess it up, you got to redo the piece. That's why it costs more, because you got to order extra material in case you mess up. Okay. Printed wrap like camo, special print wraps, or carbon fiber could cost you more, just because this printed wrap is more expensive. It's gonna run about $1,000 a roll, whatever pattern it is. If it's a custom print, it might be even more. I have no idea. We'll have to work that out. On carbon fiber, kind of just depends on the brand and the type. So 3M Avery carbon fiber, a lot more expensive. Tech wrap carbon fiber, not so much. Just depends on what you like. Okay, that carbon fiber I have over there looks like this. Okay, it's kind of like a dull, shiny carbon fiber. And there's another carbon fiber that's really high gloss, looks like real carbon fiber, costs 3 times as much. Okay, so that's about it for material cost. The next factor of what your wrap costs also depends on the skill of your wrapper. Okay, so this is kind of a combo piece. How to find your wrapper, and how do you know that that wrapper is a good wrapper? So when I first started doing wraps, I was doing it for $600, $500 in profit. That's how much I determined my time is worth when I spent all week in the garage after work doing your car and figuring out how to lay this wrap on your car. So it was $500, $600 plus the cost of material. So you're looking at $1,100, $1,000, $1,200, depends on that, right? But you're also getting what you're paying for. So my Skill level was not that great, so I wasn't fooling anybody. I was showing people what my experience is so far from my YouTube channel. I said, go check out my YouTube channel. You can see what I've done. Look at my Instagram, see what I've done, and then decide if that's worth you doing it, right? And I show them what it looks like on my car. So if you're looking for a wrapper, make sure that your wrapper has a good amount of reference, tell you honestly how experienced they are, and on top of that, show you an example of what they've done. So you need to go and physically look at it yourself in person before you make that decision. That's why I do like really detailed, as much clear video of my stuff as much as possible. For those who think that that's enough for them, they can take a look at it and then make that decision remotely. They can come and look at it if they want to. But don't pick a wrapper where you don't know and you see just really nice pictures. You want to see video of them doing the whole thing, okay? Or at least tag who did it, right? So there are people on the internet that will try to trick you, no matter how many followers they have. They might take a picture of a very nicely wrapped car from the internet somewhere, claim it as their own, and then you think that they did that wrap, okay? So do your reference checks. Go, all right, you did that car. Who did it belong to? Show me some more footage of it. Can I talk to the person that you did it? Can they show me pictures of what their car looks like now after a couple months, after a year? So do your research, find who your best wrapper is, and then you can make an educated decision on going with them if that's what you want to do. The cost of these wraps vary depending on how detailed you are into, right? So if it's just one guy like me, I might not disassemble everything, but I can figure ways around it and it will cost you less, right? So if you want a shop with like 10 dudes that will disassemble your car, take it apart, wrap it, reassemble it, they have to pay for insurance, they have to pay for overhead, they have to pay hourly for all these guys to work. So that's gonna raise your price up even higher, right? So it just kind of depends. New guy, independent person, does it out of their garage. Shop, well known, super busy, bunch of people they gotta pay. You're gonna pay more. So that's where that's at. What is the condition of your car? So when I first got this car, the paint was all jacked up on certain places, right? So stock paint is always the best, but over time the sun damages all things and even stock paint gets ruined, clear coats start peeling, all that stuff. So I've done a lot of videos about the condition of the paint, so you guys can check them out, but basically it will cost you more if there's body work that needs to be done. How you figure it out is you get some packaging tape, like, you know, stuff that you would wrap up like a UPS package with, wrap it around your hand, touch your car everywhere with that. If paint comes off on that tape, then that means it will come off on the wrap. The whole portion where that is happening needs to be sanded down until it's smooth. You just need to use up to about 400 grit sandpaper or 220 on the orbital, and it is perfect. All you gotta do to know when it's good is to sand it down, get some wrap, like a little piece, and then sample test it. If it sticks on there and it feels smooth, then you're good to go. Wrap won't stick to Bondo, it won't stick to poly, so that needs a little bit of help. So Bondo and poly, you need to primer it. Sand the primer, then you'll be good to go. So if you're making the wrapper do this portion of it, he's gonna charge you more, or that might be an unexpected cost. So if I'm laying a whole piece of wrap on your hood and then I didn't realize that your hood has bad paint because someone repainted it incorrectly because it was in an accident previously, and then you bought the car but you didn't know about that accident and it wasn't reported, all you do is when you lay the whole piece down and then you touch the wrap to the paint and the paint comes off, that whole piece of wrap is potentially ruined. So now you gotta pay for more wrap, you gotta pay for that piece to be sanded down. So that is some unexpected cost that might happen. So I suggest you test it first and don't blame your wrapper, because that stuff can happen and maybe they will roll it into the price of their wrap in general just to cover for that once they see what your car looks like. So that's a disclaimer that you never know, right? You can't blame the wrap or the material because your paint was bad. The paint shop that redid it might not have done it to factory specs. As far as I know, a proper paint job on a bumper piece requires a lot more work than on a metal panel. So on a bumper piece, if the bumper was damaged and it needed to be repainted by a shop or somebody, they should have sanded the thing, adhesion promoter, primer, sand the primer, put the base coats, however many layers, and then put the clear coat on it, however many layers. So I think that's the proper way to paint it. But anyway, if they didn't paint it properly to factory specs or to however painters are supposed to paint, the wrap will pull off your paint. So that's a consideration. If you do the body work yourself and you get it all sanded down and done, it will cost you less. So usually when you go, how much? And I go, do that body work, then this is how much. How much material do you need if you want to do this at home? So regardless of the car, if this is your first time and you have to ask that question, get the biggest roll. So the least minimum amount I would suggest you get is 60 feet. And then the biggest roll, usually people sell 65 or 75 feet. You're not gonna save that much more money by going less. You're maybe saving $100, but you're gonna run out of material because this is your first time and you don't know how to do it, and you're gonna mess up a lot. So you might ruin the piece, but in general, wrap is very nice in that you can keep trying until you get it right, as long as you don't cut it or overheat it or overstretch it to the point where it will break or rip. Then you can save that piece by heating it up and it will go back to the way it is. So this car, the 240, might use less material than, let's say, the VR4 or the MR2 over here, right? So the 240, what you're looking at is a smaller car. So you can essentially split a whole piece and do both sides of the car if you really wanted to, and if you're that experienced. The top of this car is also black, so you might want to do a different color. So it just kind of depends, right? So the cost is also a factor depending on how many colors you want to do it. So if you want to do one color versus two color, you want a pattern, you want to do a half and half, either half this color and half that color with some kind of pattern, or a half and half just split down the middle, or you want to do pinstripes. So it just kind of depends on the cost of material and how long it takes for the person to do it. When you're wrapping a car, if you're doing a half and half, I would recommend that you wrap the whole car one color and then wrap the second color after you wrap the whole car one color. Because if you do one part paint and one part wrap, or those guys who likes to do the little pieces of different color wrap on there and call it camo, you can do that. But over time, if you keep that there for long, your paint is gonna fade in different colors and it won't look that good once you peel it off. So the whole point of this portion of the video is to talk about how much wrap you need. But basically, if you're using chrome, then it might need more. If you're using a color shifting that's directional, you might need more as well. If you're wrapping a big truck, you might need more. So it just kind of depends. How long does a wrap last? And is it as good as paint? Well, that depends. It depends on your installer and how good that person is. So if you had someone that knew what they were doing and has put the wrap on to where it won't move anymore and it will stay like that and there's no more pullbacks, you know when that's the case after about a couple months, especially when it's hot outside. So the wrap is a PVC type of plastic material, right? That's colored. It's stretchable, but when it's heated, it likes to go back to the way it is. So essentially what you're doing is shrink wrapping the whole car in this stuff. So this stuff, once it's on, will stay, according to the manufacturers, 2 to 5 years. After about 5 years, it's recommended that you remove it. But I would probably remove it at roughly around 3 or 4 years or so, just because over time plastics do get brittle and then it becomes harder to take it off. That's it. And how long it lasts also depends on where you store your car, right? So as all things, the sun will destroy it over time. I don't care if it's paint, I don't care if it's wrap, whatever it is, over time the sun will damage it. So if you, let's say you're in Arizona and this car sits outside all day long, always dusty because you got like desert heat and all that stuff, or Texas, that will damage the wrap quicker. If you are in Canada, right, and there's snow all the time, right? So snow for a lot of the year, and you're driving in the snow, or you just leave it sitting out in the snow, and the snow just covers it. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with this in snow, so I'm not sure what to tell you about that. Best way to try any wrap is to look at the manufacturer's recommendation, and then get some wrap, get a sample piece from one of the websites that I'm going to link below, and wrap a piece of something and leave it outside. If you're considering doing wrap and you're very hesitant about the duration or quality of it, just get a piece of wrap, like a 3-foot piece, and that's like $40-$60 or whatever it is. Go to the website and wrap like a cooler or something, or a toy car. Leave it outside and see what happens. Whatever happens on that piece will happen on your car. So just don't put any stretch on it, just lay it down flat and leave it outside. So that's basically how long it will last. If you're into the wrap game, you should know that this is not meant to be permanent. So if you're someone that really loves one color and you're like, I've always wanted an MR2 in candy apple red, and that is the final color, save up your money, get someone to paint your car candy apple red for $10,000 to $15,000 and put a whole bunch of clear coat on it, and then leave it in your garage and don't ever drive it. Okay, if you drive your car, you're gonna run into stuff, rocks are gonna fly up and hit it, things are gonna impact it. So that's the cost of just owning a car. If you're someone that's really anal, that wants it to be perfect, and you just want to go out and stare at it for 15-20 minutes a day or an hour or whatever, and all it does is be a garage queen and goes to shows on trailers, go get it painted. Wrap is more for people like me who like a variety of colors and want to change their wrap color all the time. Is it worth it for you to wrap your car, and what does it cost you? So if you're doing it yourself, it will cost you very minimal for what you get, right? So in modding cars, there's a couple big things: body kits, wheels, suspension, motor, power upgrades, and cosmetics. So this is the one thing I'm good at, so that's why I'm focusing this channel mostly on cosmetics. Can I learn how to motor swap a car? Sure. Do I feel comfortable doing it? No, not really. That's why I will do this, so that I can fund other people motor swapping for me. So I just find out this is what I'm good at. If you're into the car scene, find out what that one thing that you're good at is and do that, okay? And do it very well. For this and all those, it only costs about $400 to $500, maybe $800, depending on the material you pick, and that's how much it costs. Some knifeless tapes cost about 30 bucks or whatever it is, and I got a whole video about what tools you need right over here. So check out that video on the tools you need to wrap at home. But if you do it yourself, it's very cheap, very cheap. Like you can do it for less than a whole set of wheels, knockoff wheels, not even real wheels. You can get wrap wheels for more than what it would cost you to wrap your old car, if you can figure it out. So it's all about practice. There's nothing that I can tell you that will make you be able to wrap better, okay? I sat there when I first started out watching wrap videos every night, how to wrap certain pieces, like a fender, for 40 minutes. Somebody would real-time wrap a fender for 40 minutes, and I would watch that. And I can watch it all day long, but when it actually comes to doing it, it's a whole lot different. And just as long as you apply the concepts that I showed you or other people have showed you on YouTube, over time you will figure out how to do it yourself. So everyone wraps differently, slightly, and different things work for different people. So it's like a math problem, right? You're problem solving on the fly as you're doing things, and you just have to figure it out. You just lay it down, heat it up, and figure out what works for you. Okay? There's no one wrapping way that is 100% perfect. And if these guys are in the comments saying, "Oh, I'm doing this and that wrong," well, that's just because that's just how they do it, and they don't agree with how I do it. So I'll do whatever it is that I like. Okay? If you're paying me, then show me how to do it, then I might do it that way. If you don't like it, go and make your own channel and show people how to do it. Otherwise, hold on to your secrets, bro. All right, so this portion is for all the miscellaneous questions. In the comments, someone asked if a girl can rap. Well, one of the nearest, most popular rap shop in Sacramento, their main rapper is a girl. So it doesn't matter what you are, as long as you are good at arts and crafts and you find that you can do this, then you can do it. This is not for everybody. I can't tune a car, okay? I'm not good with the computer stuff. I can't figure out or remember all the items that is needed for tuning or motor work. So I have a hard time keeping track of where things are, so I'm not good at motor swapping. So it just depends on whether or not this is for you. Not everyone's a good painter, and this is kind of like that, right? You can draw an ugly picture or you can create a masterpiece. It's all up to you and how much you practice. The best way to go around objects such as antennas, shark fins, anything like little emblems or anything like that, is to take it off, okay? The reason why I don't take it off is because I am now able to work around it without any stretch on it at all. So if you haven't practiced that, then I suggest you take everything off, take the whole car apart and do it. When you're picking up a car that someone else has wrapped, make sure that they let you come back after a month, 2 months, 3 months, okay? Anyone can make a car look good the first week after it's wrapped, or the first day, right? But over time, as the sun hits it, as it gets hot, as you drive around and it gets dirty and mud or dirt or whatever it is, gets onto the car, that if they did it right, it should stay looking like this. The most important thing is, no matter what it looks like when you pick it up, they need to guarantee you that you can come back if there's any issues, and they will cover the cost of redoing the pieces if it is a failure in the wrap. If you hit a rock or hit something hard on the road and it damaged your wrap, don't try to say that that's because the wrap's ruined and that they need to redo your wrap. Like literally someone has came before and go, "Hey, I got a hole right here in my hood, and can you rewrap the hood?" Well, yes, I can, but it's going to cost you more, and it's going to cost you material, because it's obviously, you can see that the area around it, nothing happened, and then there's just a hole right here, okay? So a rapper can tell what's going on with it. If you don't agree, get a second opinion from someone else. But all rappers will tell you if that is a failure in the material, in the paint, or is it because you hit something. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. I hope you found this information helpful, and you guys are probably wondering, well, you never told us how much it costs to wrap my car. Well, that is because it depends, because I would charge more or less depending on what kind of car you have and how big it is, what condition it's in, what color you want, how fast you want me to do it, what kind of aero body kits, wide body, wings, etc. What do you have on there, okay? So it really just depends. What you should do is you should send me a message either on my email or on Instagram. Send me a picture of the car and go, "I want this car wrapped and I want this color." And then I'll tell you how much it is. And then you go and you price shop all the shops around you, and then you decide how much you should pay and who you should go with, okay? And then you want to check the references like I talked about earlier, and make sure that you got someone that's really good for the price you're willing to pay. If you don't want to pay as much and you got a rapper that's doing it in a parking lot somewhere and he's only charging you $1,200, well, you do that. Good luck. You should expect that it might not be that great, okay? check the references, ask them to show you cars that they've done in the past year and what it looks like a year later. Check if they have a car and when they did it, and if you can see it actually was done X amount of time ago. If a rapper doesn't have a car that's wrapped, then there is a problem that you might have if you go with that person. Okay, so make sure you do your homework and check it out. Okay, so I hope this is helpful. If you like this episode, leave me a comment, ask a question that I didn't answer down in the comments, and I will answer, I promise. And until next time, guys, make sure you subscribe so you can win that free wrap at 100,000 subscribers. I will fly to you and do it and teach you how. So until next time, I'll catch you guys later.